The University of Warwick is a founding partner of the Alan Turing Institute for Data Science. Recently, senior members of the Institute have visited the university to discuss our research and collaborative projects. My name is Alex Buxton, Research Communications Manager at Warwick, and in this interview we're talking to Dr. Jonathan Shaw about economic data science and the Turing HSBC partnership. Could you start by introducing yourself, please, Dr. Shaw?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jonathan Shaw. I'm the Programme Director for the Turing HSBC programme in Economic Data Science. So that's run out of the Alan Turing Institute based at the British Library in London.
Well, thank you for joining us today. It's great to be with you. And I was hoping you could kick off by telling us, in your opinion, what part will economic data science play in the future of the UK?
I see economic data science as an emerging field that seeks to combine insights and methods from economics, econometrics and data science to answer interesting questions about how the economy works. And I think that if individuals and if businesses are to make good decisions and if government is to formulate good policy, it's important that they understand how the economy works, what's going on, what the causal impact of different policy regimes are. And economic data science provides the tools for answering those kind of questions that will improve decision making.
It's exciting stuff. What is the Turing HSBC partnership in economic data science?
Okay, well, if I start with just a couple of sentences about Turing itself. So the Alan Turing Institute has been going for just a couple of years. It's a new organisation. And we like to describe ourselves as being the home of data science in the UK. So we're really seeking to be an interdisciplinary organisation that brings together researchers from different institutions and different departments to work on issues relating to data science and make big leaps forward, both academically, but also for policy and for the benefit of the wider public. So that's what Turing as a whole is trying to achieve. The Turing HSBC partnership is just one particular part of what the Turing is doing. So we have a 5-year grant from HSBC to do work looking at issues relating to the economy and how it functions. Really things are just kicking off. I've only been around for about 4 months now, so we're at the stage of trying to formulate the research programme and develop research questions and research projects and so on. But we see this as being an important means for bringing together researchers from economics and from data science to answer and to address questions that we haven't previously been able to do, either because the methodologies haven't been developed or perhaps because the data's not previously been available. So we're seeking to bring together new data, new methods to answer interesting questions in the sphere of economics and data science.
Sounds great. And what's Warwick's role in all that?
So Warwick University is one of the 5 founding partner universities. So Turing was set up in collaboration between 5 universities. So Warwick has played an instrumental part in the development of the Turing right from the beginning. So Warwick supplies a number of the academic researchers who are involved working directly at Turing. There are PhD students who are affiliated with Warwick who come down to Turing. Specifically about the Turing HSBC programme, there will be lots of opportunities for collaborating in terms of developing research projects, talking about research directions, and we hopefully also will be hosting PhD students who are based at Warwick in some capacity down at the Turing. So I think that there's lots of potential for being involved in the programme and lots of opportunities for Warwick to play an important part in the way that it develops.
Sounds like there's some great opportunities for our research community. The next question is quite broad, But I was wondering, how will you ensure this new partnership benefits science, society, and the economy in terms of impact?
So Turing is a bit unusual in that it's not trying to be just another university department. It's not a mini university itself. It really is trying to have a broader impact that ties together academia across a range of departments with industry and with government. And I think that those links, bringing together academia and industry and government, are what is going to help ensure that the partnership has a broad range of benefits across industry and science and society, and benefits the economy as well. I mean, just to give a couple of examples about how that's working out in practice, we had a workshop back in September, which was really to help try and kickstart things. A number of people from Warwick University were able to come to that, and that workshop brought together individuals from academia, but also from key stakeholders, including government departments, places like the Office for National Statistics and the Bank of England. So there's a real desire and in practice a working out of being able to bring together individuals from different organisations. As I've already mentioned, things are still at an early stage with the programme, so one or two projects are really just kicking off. Things are not too far down the road, but we're in the process of building close partnerships with other organisations as part of the desire to build the economic data science work that happens at Turing, and those will also facilitate our ability to communicate our results across a wide range of outputs.
As an economist and data scientist yourself, how did your research lead you to become involved in the Turing and subsequently this role?
Well, for almost 15 years, I worked for the Institute for Fiscal Studies, a think tank based in London, doing lots of interesting public policy work, looking at a wide range of stuff relating to governments and what they do and the way that policy can be designed more effectively. My responsibilities there were particularly focusing on the tax and benefit system and understanding individuals' decision-making in terms of employment and education decisions. And I also did some work using quite substantial data sets, administrative data, on tax compliance decisions. I did a part-time PhD whilst I was at the Institute for Fiscal Studies. That was through UCL, and I got to the end of that. I finished that about a year ago, and I was keen to look round for some new and interesting challenges. And the things that appealed to me about Turing was that it allowed me to continue working very much in an applied empirical economic setting, but allowed me to incorporate some new components, understanding the role that data science can play, and perhaps more the computational side of solving problems. And some of the work that I'd seen presented whilst I was at the Institute for Fiscal Studies was very much pointing in this direction, and I'd found that particularly interesting. So it was an avenue that I was keen to explore more. So when this role came up at the Turing, I was keen to pursue it and see whether I could get on board.
Great. Well, we're happy that you're here. And I was also wondering, what kind of economic questions can the use of data science unlock?
Well, perhaps if I set out what the three themes are that we're hoping to cover under the Turing HSBC programme, that will give you an idea of where the programme's heading, and hopefully where I also see that economics and economic data science can really make a contribution. So the first theme is measuring and understanding economic activity across the business cycle. And we're really interested in understanding what happens within economies, so understanding the network linkages across different parts of the economy. So network techniques are quite popular in data science, and we think that there's a real potential for applying that kind of thing to understand what happens within economies across business cycles, rather than just looking at the aggregate level. So that's the first theme. The second theme focuses on labour markets, looking at the changing nature of employment. Increasingly, there are big administrative data sources available in this area, whether that be from tax authorities or the online labour platforms. And of course, the growth of the gig economy is a big part of the way in which the labour market's been changing in recent years, which potentially has big implications for the kind of policy you might want to make, the impacts on individual well-being. And we think that there's a role for good quality empirical economics and data science work to investigate those changes more and to understand their implications for the economy more generally. And then the third and final theme is one relating to a bit more to methodology, trying to understand how econometrics and how data science techniques can work alongside one another to provide approaches that are suitable for dealing with the kind of new and large-scale data sources that are now available or becoming available for answering economic questions. So the kind of things that might happen under that theme are work looking at how you might select variables appropriately in causal economic models, the use of unstructured data, whether that be images or text, in trying to answer questions, and that sort of applications of econometrics and machine learning. So I think those are all important areas where we can make contributions with what we're trying to do through the programme.
And thinking about that work, what skills do you think are the most valuable to those working in the field of economic data science?
So I think probably it starts off being most important to be inquisitive about the way that the world works and keen to understand more about what it is that drives economies, what affects outcomes, and what policy can do to influence things. And then I would say that combined with that, it's useful to have a sound understanding of econometrics and causal approaches to problems, alongside a good understanding of machine learning and other data science techniques. And that would be a fairly unusual skill set, the way that economics courses are perhaps structured these days, but increasingly it's becoming more an area of focus. But it would potentially allow you to contribute some interesting stuff in the area that we're working in.
The interdisciplinary possibilities are pretty exciting. And what advice would you give to researchers and students who are interested in working in the field of economic data science?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that potentially we're interested in working with you, whether you're an academic already working on research projects, or perhaps you're a student thinking of applying for a PhD, then it would be great to hear from you to understand what areas you're interested in and how we might work together in the future. In more general terms, I would say it's useful, particularly if you're a student, to talk to members of faculty who work here in Warwick. I know a number of people in the economics department and in the statistics department are interested in economic applications of data science. So it's well worth exploring their work and their interests. There's some good stuff going on here already. I'd also suggest that it's worth seeing what's out there and what's being presented at conferences. Increasingly, economists are recognizing the value of data science and data science approaches to addressing economic problems, and some of the mainstream conferences even have sessions on these kind of issues coming up. So see who's working on it and what work they're doing, and use that as inspiration for what you might work on, and do feel free to go out and test your ideas on people, talk to them, and also get involved through PhD programs like the one at Turing, who are able to support economics and data science work.
And I know it's early days, but given your experience so far, what do you think makes the Turing partnership with the University of Warwick and its research community special?
Yeah, well, as I've said, I think that Turing, and particularly the Turing HSBC programme, is a new and exciting venture, so things really are beginning to develop. But the ability of Turing to cross disciplinary boundaries and learn from different fields, involving people based at universities around the country, including Warwick, is what really sets Turing apart. There are great opportunities for mutual benefit, both within Turing and from Warwick's perspective, to collaborate on research. We're already working closely with a number of professors based here at Warwick, and I think that the potential for doing work that will be different and answer new and interesting questions that wouldn't otherwise have happened without Turing and its link with Warwick is great. So I'm very excited with working with Warwick researchers in developing the research programme going forward.
Thanks for joining us today, Dr. Jonathan Shaw.
Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Thanks for listening, and for more information on the University of Warwick and the Turing Partnership, visit warwick.ac.uk/research/Turing.